Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In the event it becomes necessary to evacuate this building because of an emergency, there are exits located at the top of each stairway and around the outside of the concourse area. Please take a moment to identify the 2 exits closest to your location. If it becomes necessary to exit, please proceed in an orderly manner to a safe area away from this building. Thank you.
You can stand. Welcome to the graduation celebration for the Green Canyon High School class of 2025. We're honored to have you all with us and want to recognize members of the Cache County School Board and other leadership members of the Cache County School District. Will everyone please stand for the national anthem performed by Green Canyon Crescendo?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the most bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave.
I've always been a fan of the marching band, especially after hearing one of their favorite sayings. It's really fun to be really good at something. While that is true, I found it's even more fun to be bad at something and to get better at it. Today, I'd like to share the joy I found on my journey of purposeful progression. I've always loved math. Early on, each math test was a race to see who could finish first, which was a huge motivator for me. But even more so were the king-size candy bars my teacher promised for a perfect score. Man, that was a great year. Unfortunately, I soon had a different class, which meant no more candy and no more competition. Math became just another grade-driven chore for me. That started to change when I was first introduced to Desmos, an online graphing calculator that I love playing with. Surprise, I'm a nerd. Anyways, my obsession with Desmos didn't really take hold until the day I learned about the unit circle. That night, I set out to graph an inverted circle out of tangent lines, because why not? With little more than SOHCAHTOA under my belt, I got to work. After hours of trial and error, but mostly error, I was frustrated, confused, and really had nothing to show for my efforts. Then I realized the calculator was in radians, not degrees. Rookie mistake. That led to an hour-long tangent, pun intended, of Googling and pestering my older brother, trying to learn this concept. After I mastered this concept, I still couldn't make my graph. Then I had another realization. Point slope form. How could I forget something so basic? It took 2 teachers, 7 or 8 whiteboard sketches, and 3 YouTube videos for me to relearn this concept. Then, at last, everything clicked and my graph was complete. Overflowing with excitement, I shared it with literally anyone and everyone. Now, even though the circle graph was completely pointless, get it, because it's a circle? What I learned in the process changed my life. Not only did I become obsessed with Desmos, but more importantly, I fell in love with purposeful progression. I realized that true learning doesn't take going to school, but rather accountability and ownership for my own education. I started to own my own improvement, and ultimately, I started to own my own life. This experience became even more meaningful this last year when surgeries forced me to slow down and reflect on what makes me truly happy. When I realized how exciting and fulfilling improvement is, I noticed a trend. Progression is at the core of everything I love. Now, I can bench press more than just the bar and can crank out at least 25 pull-ups. I love weightlifting. I went from making pinch pots to throwing beautiful bowls on the wheel. I love ceramics. I started out as literally the worst skater in my ice sports class. Now I can kind of play hockey. I love hockey. I learned to play basketball with some friends from the promised land of Amalga, even winning a stake championship along the way. I love church ball. My skis aren't in a pizza anymore. Now I can French fry through the moguls. I love skiing. I used to cry over English assignments. Now I can say, good enough. I still don't love English. I went from procrastinating writing the speech to giving the mediocre one you hear now. I love progressing. Now, my passions may seem totally random, and that's because they are. There are endless opportunities for growth. All we have to do is seek them out. Just like one of my role models, Lego Batman. Unlike most superheroes, there's nothing all that super about Batman aside from his dedication to self-improvement. As an orphan, he could have easily taken his inheritance to live a comfortable and quiet life. Instead, he took a look at himself and made a change. Who never skips leg day? Who wakes up at 4 a.m. to pump iron until his chest is positively sick? Lego Batman. He's funny, he's famous, he's got a 9-pack, and if you think his muscles are big, you haven't seen his brain. Who doesn't want to be Batman? In reality, we all can. All it takes is the decision to intentionally improve. As said in the poem Invictus, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Though progression is largely individual, I haven't done it all alone. First, I want to recognize Green Canyon's greatest graduating class, the class of 25. Your individual accomplishments have inspired me to do and be more. I also want to thank every teacher who selflessly pushed me to actually learn and reach my potential. I will never forget your influence. To my friends and family, thank you for enriching my life and encouraging me to improve. I hope it made you proud, grandmas. And ultimately, Mom and Dad, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you. Thank you for loving me more than I can ever know, and for helping me grow into the person I am today. So, whether you're graphing circles, learning to skate, or lifting weights, don't give up. The fun isn't in perfection, it's in purposeful progression. Let me say that again. The fun isn't in perfection, it's in purposeful progression. That's the purpose of life. Finding what you love, facing challenges, and overcoming them. And if Lego Batman can do it, so can we. Thank you. Happy graduation, everybody.
So, just two remarks before we begin. One, I would like to thank my friends, my teachers, and all my family members that have helped me get to where I am today. And two, I need to say at least one random thing while I'm up here, so pardon the brain rot, but chicken jockey. I think we can all agree that it feels pretty good to be right. Whether it's on a quiz in math or just correctly calling out the answers to the game show we watch at home, it feels good. Throughout my life, I've been obsessed with this idea of being right. It started back in kindergarten when I was deemed the smart kid for being right most of the time when everyone else was right less of the time. From that point, I dedicated myself to being right, to having all the answers, so that when anyone said anything else, I could look them square in the eye, smile, and confidently proclaim, I am right, you are wrong. Needless to say, I was a very annoying young child. This lasted for a while, me being on top, until in first grade, someone looked me in the eye, smiled, and confidently proclaimed, I am right, you are wrong. At that moment, I hated that person. They had dared to challenge me, the smart kid. They had dared to question my intelligence. They had dared to say I was wrong. I mean, how could they think that? Obviously 2 times 2 equals 22. I was a first grader, okay? By fourth grade, I learned to recognize that I could in fact be wrong. When I failed to advocate to my teacher that the groups and sticks method of multiplication was just as good as simple multiplication. But it wasn't until 12th grade that I truly learned how to listen to someone who told me I was wrong. As part of a research project we were required to do, I chose to look at the practice of book banning. As the son of an author, I grew up reading every kind of book I could get my hands on. So the idea of a book being banned was unthinkable to me. When I first learned about it, I was in shock. I mean, who could be so stupid as to ban Harry Potter for witchcraft? It's ridiculous. The more I learned about these bans, the more outraged I became. Why should these morons get to decide what I can and can't read? After all, I bet they couldn't tell Les Miserables from Noli Me Tangere. I decided that anyone who supported book bans must be an evil demon with the sole purpose of trying to destroy democracy, liberty, and worst of all, censor my books. So, there I was, at the start of the project, ready to go and tear into the opposite side, to yell, I am right, you are wrong, so loudly that they would retreat back into whatever cubbyhole of slime and filth they crawled out of, failing to recognize that doing so would only invite them to scream back, even louder. But then, as part of the project, we were required to do research on the opposite perspective. I spent hours combing through their websites, scoffing at everything I saw. But as I researched, I began to see that despite all of our differences, there was one thing I could in fact sympathize with. They loved their kids. As silly a realization as that may sound, it was something I was able to connect with. I came to see that the main reason people push for bans is because they want to protect their children from what they see as harmful material. I may not agree with how they express their concern, but I can still respect them for it and treat them as people, despite my continued objections to book banning. I think a lot of people do this, getting so caught up in being right that we fail to recognize that people who disagree with us are still, in fact, people, and not actually blood-sucking demons. I also realized that if we're so busy trying to prove ourselves right and the other person wrong, then we can't actually create a solution to the problem. This can be seen everywhere, from friends being unable to grab lunch because they're too busy arguing about which restaurant is better, to Democrats and Republicans being unable to solve problems because they're too busy fighting each other in Congress. Respecting the other side lets us take the first steps towards compromise by allowing us to be open to ideas that we otherwise may not have considered. It won't always be easy, and you may have to give up something that you love, like letting half of the pizza have pineapple on it. But a solution that works despite an objection or two is better than a stalemate with no victory. Let me say that again. A solution that works despite an objection or two is better than a stalemate with no victory. As an example, consider a family dispute. Instead of letting it turn into a feud that tears a family apart, we can look past our siblings or parents or child's opinion to the person we know underneath and love them despite that. And so, I ask that the next time any of us encounter a person with an opinion we disagree with, to please remember that they are a human too, and realize it doesn't always have to be, I am right, you are wrong. Thank you.
In Wolfpack Academy, we learned about SMART goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The kinds of goals that are most likely to succeed. My freshman year, that all sounded pretty good. So I made 10 goals. I wanted them to be achievable, so I followed the SMART goal formula. I was certain I could reach them by my senior year. Out of those 10 goals, I achieved exactly 1, the goal to make friends. The other 9 goals, the goals I was sure I would meet, I failed. But failing 9 out of 10 goals isn't that uncommon. A survey done by the University of Scranton showed that only 8% of all the goals we set are ever realized. That's a 92% failure rate. I don't know about you, but that number scares me. I wouldn't get on a plane that crashed 92% of the time. I wouldn't get on a boat that advertised 8% of the time it didn't sink. Or a class with a 92% failure rate? Terrifying. Goals are hailed all over as a solution to so many problems. But how can they be? How can something that fails so often be the solution? And why use that solution if it's almost destined to go wrong? Through my experiences, I found that maybe meeting my goals isn't the solution. Maybe failing at them is why they are so helpful. I've done cross-country and track since my freshman year. Going into track this year, I had some goals. But not only did I not meet them, I got slower. I didn't beat my personal record. I didn't even come close to it. My last race, my senior year, I was hoping for a season record, if not a personal one. And I crossed the finish line a full 52 seconds slower than my PR. In other words, I failed. After the race, I went home and sat on my couch. I knew I should be doing homework, but I kept thinking about track. I was disappointed in myself. I wondered if I hadn't tried hard enough, if I'd wasted my time. I thought, maybe I won't start running again. But that thought felt wrong, which made me wonder why. Why do I run? And why would I keep doing it? As I considered the people, the environment, and the feeling you get after running hard, I realized I do want to keep running. And I made a list of things to do better. If I had met my goals this year, I wouldn't have done any self-reflection. Outwardly, I would grow, but inwardly, not so much. Think about the tests we've all taken throughout school. Have you ever done really well on a test and then gone home and pulled out all of your homework for that subject and stayed up late studying, determined to do better and learn as much as you can? I haven't. The last time I did well on a test, I went home, put away that homework, ate some food, read a book, and forgot everything I learned in approximately 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Success gives us a sense of accomplishment, a tangible reward, whether that be praise, money, a trophy, or maybe just bragging rights. But sometimes it doesn't give much else. But think of a time when you failed. Maybe you put in hour after hour with no visible results. Maybe nothing went as planned and everything fell apart. Maybe you didn't reach your goals. Maybe it felt like you didn't get anything, or it even felt like you lost something. Looking back, did you learn? Did you gain resilience, strength? Did you grow? If you could go back, would you ever give those parts away? Failing leaves us unsettled and unfulfilled. We have to find the fulfillment in failure by turning inward. Goals are so valuable because when we don't meet them, we have to evaluate ourselves. We have to decide whether to recommit and change our approach or move on to a new chapter of our lives. Either way, failing promotes inner growth and pushes us forward. 92% of people don't meet their goals, but they also aren't defined by few successes. 92% of people know what they need to work on. They are self-aware. 92% of people are growing in countless ways. 92% of people know where to go next. 92% of people are finding fulfillment in something more than their performance. I don't know about you, but maybe that 92% doesn't sound that bad. We all have lots of decisions coming up, lots of opportunities, lots of goals to set, and we're all going to fail. A lot. And that is why we will succeed. Thank you.
Now that I've broke the ice with my incredible drum abilities, I apologize for those, by the way. If you could have seen me last night trying to practice, I was on YouTube. My family was laughing at me, especially my wife, and they all just told me to quit. But man, I have a total new respect for what our students do, so give them another round of applause, because that's incredible. It's truly my privilege to stand in front of what I like to call Wolfpack Nation. You guys it's just incredible to see all of you, and I want you to know this comes from my heart, that you guys, I believe, are the most incredible people, and you bless my life in so many ways. I'm trying not to get emotional because these students in front of me mean so much. You graduates, I'm so dang proud of you. Give yourself a hand, seriously. I have to thank all these people over here to my left, the school board and Superintendent McKee and all the other people that are with them that we call our leaders, and they are. Without them giving me the opportunity to be the principal of this wonderful school, I don't know where I would be, and it really is. I just want to thank them every day for what I get to do. When I walk into Green Canyon, I can tell you I truly love the place and the people I work with and get to work with. I can't go on too much further without recognizing, though, a few very important people, and I believe the students love them as much as anybody. And I'd like for two of them to stand. I want to thank these two gentlemen over here at the end. You two stand up. Mr. Gordon Gaddis and Mr. Phil Morris. They are incredible principals, and I love working with them every single day. I'd also like to just quickly recognize the office staff, Wendy and the whole crew. Where are you guys at? Stand up. They're over here hiding. These are the people that actually run the school. So if you're up there in the stands, they're the ones that are actually running it. Not that they're last, but the people that are very, very important to me and I think are the most incredible teachers on planet Earth, I would like for them to all stand, and let's give them a round of applause because they deserve everything they get. right, so now I want to focus on a few other people. And I hope you guys can bear with me. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. But if you are a parent of one of these graduates, I'd ask for you to please stand. Now stay standing. If you're a grandparent of one of these students, please stand. All right, now keep standing. Students, I want you to locate your family members and all those people you love. I want for you to give them a wave or the heart sign, blow them a kiss, and let's all stand up and give them a round of applause. Let's give your parents a round of applause. Thank you. Those parents and grandparents that we just recognized, I want to thank you. Without you, it wouldn't be possible for what these students have done. I know that you guys have sweat, gone through a lot of tears, blood if you want to say, and more importantly, your pocketbooks. But thank you. We truly do appreciate you guys and what you do for Green Canyon. All right, we're going to do another little thing I have to recognize. We're just about recognizing these kids, if you can get that right now. But we're going to start off with a vocabulary word. Okay? One more last time, it's a vocabulary word, right? I want everybody to remember this because we didn't learn it all that long ago. But the word is gonfalon. Okay? You can blame Miss Kebby for this word, by the way. Where are you at, Miss Kebby? Right there. Okay? Can you say the word? Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Gonfalon. There you go. Remember that. That's what these are behind us. Okay? I feel like it's important to explain why those are here today. It's a new tradition that we've started with graduation. If you notice, there was a few students that brought these gonfalons in, and you'll notice it has PAC. Stands for purpose, attitude, connections, and knowledge. It's what we are. That's what we are as a wolf pack. At this time, I'd like those students to please stand that brought those banners in. Okay, now you guys keep standing, okay? I'm going to read their names, and when I read the name, I want you to raise your hands so they all know who you are. These students were selected by our teachers strictly for the reason that they are who we truly believe epitomizes what a member of the pack is. They're our wolves, they're our leaders. They have done something throughout their career in high school that exemplifies who we are as people. And they've done it. I wish I could tell you all their incredible stories, but just trust me, they've all got great stories and they're special to us. First student, Diego Obarca. Maya Patel. Jacoby Nelson. Ali Suhaka. Jaden Havey. And Caitlin Jensen. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Okay, just I want to go down. The next thing I want to do is recognize just some of the fun things that this class has done. I'd like to start off with, if you are a 4.0 scholar, please stand. Thank you. Our next group of students that we'd like to have stand are those that are graduating with honors. Those of you that are curious as to what honors are, these students have taken multiple AP classes and concurrent classes and met what we consider at Green Canyon a very rigorous set of classes, and they've graduated and done it with a great deal. Obviously, they're very smart, but they're off to a good start. So congratulations, scholars. Okay, just a few other fun facts. Today sits in front of you 410 graduates, which right now, from what I've been told, is the largest graduating class in Cache Valley this year. The students of this class are accepting nearly $6.5 million in scholarships. These students are going to be attending universities, colleges, and other different types of schooling and traveling abroad throughout the entire world. I think it's safe to say the Wolfpack is going to go and influence a lot of people, and we're very proud of that. I'm also now going to ask a few more people to stand. If you are a member of the 8-time state champion band, please stand. Thanks, you guys. I have to do this because I don't want to miss, if you are part of the band coaching staff, Jake, Katie, you guys got to stand too. We got to give you a round of applause. Nice. I hope you guys heard that right. We've been a school for 8 years and no one's touched this band, and they even compete at the 5A level. It's pretty incredible. Our girls tennis team, if you're a member of the 4-time straight state championship, please stand. Awesome. Congrats. I think it's important to say that our girls track team, they have now just currently finished off their 5th straight year of winning the region titles. And we had many other sports as well win region titles this year. So congratulations on those accomplishments. All right, I want to just do something real quick. I promise I won't go long. But about a week ago, I asked the students, I got on the intercom, and I asked them all to just think quickly about one special moment that they had in their career as a Wolfpack or a member of the Wolfpack. And just to think about it for a minute, and I hope some of them shared it with you or their families. Tonight I want to just share my favorite moment of this year. And there were a lot of them. I hate it how I get emotional, so I'm going to try not to. My moment came in February when our basketball team was getting ready to hopefully win a region title. The whole school knew that it was going to be an important night, and we had a really good opportunity to do it. We threw everything we could to make sure our team was going to be successful, and it wasn't that hard. If any of you have been to an activity at our school, you'll know that we have great students, and they like to cheer for their teams. And we're very proud that, for the most part, they do rowdy right. On this particular night, though, we had some very special moments. Those of you that will remember the end of that game, we had a student who's gone through many trials in life, Wesley Murdoch. Those were at the game, saw Wesley make a shot. The best part about that game, though, wasn't just that Wesley made the shot or the look that he had on his face. But for me, it was the Wolfpack Nation celebrating greatness. I saw students who didn't care about basketball cheering and smiling and having fun. I saw a student body wearing shirts that said "Pack." I saw students that were so excited we couldn't contain them in the stands and dang near killed our cheerleaders. I saw the opponents hugging Wesley, and I saw opposing fans cheering for him as well. But again, the most special part of that night was Green Canyon showed the entire world who we were. Thank you, and I hope that you guys remember that moment and you take it to the rest of the world and share that goodness. You guys promise me you'll do that? Good. Now I got through that, I can get my composure back. Graduates, again, I'm super proud of you and grateful for everything you have done for me, my family, and all of those teachers and everybody around us. We wish you well, good luck, and that's the end of my speech. We love you. All right, the part you've been waiting for, and I want to explain this to everybody. You are going to see a few people come down here. I'm going to be handing out diplomas, but you're going to see a few teachers who are going to do it as well. We have a tradition that those who are teachers and they have a student in this class, they get to hand them their diploma. So you're going to get to see a few parents do it, and we also have a special one tonight. We have a grandmother doing it as well. So when you see that, you'll know what's going on. So, Miss Christiansen. As a principal of Green Canyon High School, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the graduating class of 2025. I have found that they have satisfactorily completed all requirements for graduation. I therefore certify that these candidates for graduation have fully satisfied the requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the high school curriculum. Ms. Christiansen, I now submit them for your confirmation.
Principal Drummer Crosby, on behalf of my associates on the Cache County Board of Education, and by the power vested in the board by the state of Utah, I accept these candidates who have completed the requirements for graduation and bestow upon them a high school diploma with all the rights, duties, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Back it up.
Ann Balling.
Grant Richard Johnson.
Cade J. Wilson.
Lance Jacob Cox.
Ezra Todd Funk.
Kai Taylor Stoneley.
Spencer Bryant Hall.
Patience Brianna Allred.
Kate Nye.
Natalia Sky Aguirre.
Sophie Alice Allred.
Gloria Hope Coons.
Anna Marie Cowley.
Nathaniel Joseph Servan.
Thomas Nickel.
Anthony Leono Morales Aguirre.
Devin Pugmire.
Carson Kirk Jackson.
Morgan Sue Butters.
Daniel Matthew Lors.
Paige Aaron Draney.
Hayden Rue Atkinson.
Daniela Vargas.
Addison Ray Morris.
Isabella Rojas Ortiz.
Sequoia Jack Dimmick.
Joe Mirth Perrier.
Ali Marie Suhaka.
Chelsea Marie Shakespeare.
Haley Grace Shakespeare.
Hero Jacob Gonzalez.
Gabriel Angel Galvin.
Stephanie Martinez.
Jorge Ronaldo Olvera Reda.
Everardo
Josue,
Ocampo Trujillo.
Josue Nicholas Cornejo.
Kaylin Sarah Martindale Carlisle.
Tristan Tucker Fife.
Alexa Elizabeth Ann Gabriel.
Avery Jan Harris.
Laura Geertsen.
Jonathan Garner Duke.
Breggins Jacob Jepson.
Jackson Ross Harris.
Logan Michael Rasmussen.
Jaylee T. Air.
Caden Dennis Mertel.
Nathan Frank Lors.
John Duke Wynn.
Justin Kent Balls.
Baylor Eliason Anderson.
Caden Matthew Penhollow.
Haley Ann Balls.
Ruby Jessica Jukes.
Grace Elizabeth Hall.
Taya Jane Roswell.
Samantha Faith Harvey.
Noah Justin Kishbaugh.
Maxwell Shane Frazier.
Benjamin Wallace Allen.
Easton Trevor Stokes.
Boston Todd Horman.
Lincoln Michael Hansen.
Matthew Gene Pace.
Brody James Slade.
Braden Kyle Yost.
Riker Chris Nelson.
Gabriel Kwaku Adi Dikwa Nakruma.
Fernando Esquivel.
Edwin Leonardo Lowe.
Diego Alejandro Escarina Abarca.
Jose Luis Ayala.
Jonah Esquiel Barrena.
Paxton R. Blake.
Eli Franklin Pensamiento.
Madeline Claire Whiting.
Haley Danielle Cespedes.
Lily Kathleen Sinead Manning.
Madeline Carr.
Bailey Camilla Adamson.
Kirsten Heather Austin.
Veronica Ann Saldivar.
James Hamilton Thomas.
Finley James Hilliard McKay.
TJ Phelps.
Bridger Brent Coates.
Cooper Stephen Hunsaker.
Benjamin Nathaniel Hartung.
Callie Lynn Johnson.
Jonathan Robert Stravel.
Nathan John Weber.
David Michael White.
Ethan Zitsky Zoo.
Benjamin Christopher Verbeek O'Brien.
Sydney Lou McNeese.
Macy Wallace.
Jacob Orion Willard.
Emily Dana Kerr.
Carol Ina Nielsen.
Diana Nicole Sosa Guardado.
Kyra Ann Egbert.
Miley June Rubo.
Caleb Jeff Larson.
Jaden Jason Havey.
Asa Keith Langston.
Filiberto Torres.
Devin Tyler Sezema.
Bracken Lance Mon.
Hudson Robert Luzader.
Stetson Reese Jenkins.
Christian Dade Midkiff.
Tate Everett Sorensen.
Ellie Catherine Stewart.
Andrew Jacob Saunders.
Dane Orion Wilkinson.
Brennan Jacob DeLange.
Samuel J. Bollingham.
Eli Michael Walker.
Alyssa Catherine Merrill.
Megan Brandley.
Elizabeth Ray Neely.
Caleb Elijah Pitts.
Ivan Chen.
Owen Wembanyama Harris.
Darren Jacob Godfrey.
Clay Jablomi Hoops.
Bronson Keller Hooley.
Kaylani Marie Jenkins.
Tylee Jensen.
Arita Joe Fox. Sorry.
Emmeline Day.
Brigham Timothy Israelson.
Maya Elizabeth Patel.
Go ahead. Start walking. Ian Roger Olson.
Go ahead, Chad. Chad Tyson Jepson.
Shandon Fain.
Dylan Lance Hale.
Daxton Boyd Reese.
Benjamin Carl Wallace.
Olivia Ann Oldham.
Emily Ariana Gardner.
Ava Jade Riggs.
Camille Sampson.
Mackley Valine Harris.
Kylie Gleisberg.
Easton Brady Sorensen.
Wyatt Allen Proctor.
Carson Ryan Webb.
Taggart Andrew Checketts.
Chase Noah Rowley.
Tristan Benjamin Balls.
Jude Daniel Haig.
Jameson Jack Thompson.
Saxon Jordan Williams.
Nixon Paul Nowak.
Briley Fish.
Brooklyn Ellen Peterson.
Reagan Jan Peterson.
Zadran Leaf Southwick.
Derek Michael Redmond.
Peyton Jordan Nate.
Kiora Ruth Galloway.
Ian Paul Pearson.
Owen Jonathan Miller.
Eric Gail Mello Sandoval.
Melanie Alejandra Rodriguez.
Giselle Messias de Leon.
Brenda Ruby Acosta.
Trace Byron Kerr.
Parker Dylan Tibbetts.
Aubrey Heyer.
Emily Katrina Knowles.
Justice Azel Seeley.
Sarah May Thompson.
Maribel Grace Barbier.
Madeline Eulalie Bradford.
Jackson Dean Newhart.
Nanase Kanahara.
Dallin Christopher John Hawks.
Logan Kylie Drysdale.
Cole Eric Dodson.
Owen Wade Godfrey.
Camden Michael Gunter.
Ethan Mariner Merrill.
Kylie Nicole Hastings.
Kaylee Shirley Holden.
Shaylee Jenkins.
Berkeley K. Sharp.
Brooklyn Ray Lichty.
Dane Lawrence Buttery.
Marley Dawn Rosa Burge.
Gracie Jacqueline Anderson.
Portia Joanne Bentley.
Joshua Roy Young.
Brianna Faye Rogers.
Emily Mena.
Sara Hernandez.
Camila Del Rocio Gonzalez Hernandez.
Joseph Alexander Porras del Castillo.
Kesley Grace Ma.
Ingrid Rose Haberstick.
Ella Watterson.
Anna Kate Godfrey.
Bergen Olivia Fife.
Monica Leonor Ramirez.
Jacoby Zeldin Nelson.
Andrew Michael Francis.
Susanna Lynn Earl.
Laurelyn Caroline Jensen.
Haley Naleen Tensmeyer.
Reagan Mikkel Christensen.
Christian Jeffrey Wangsgard.
Addison Marie Yonker. Kyle Martin Hanig.
Corbin Talon Kinnitz.
Hugh Raymond Bentley.
Logan Russell O'Donnell.
Gwyneth Haley Johnson.
Kendall Brooke Robinson.
London Hardy.
Kaylee Mercedes Garn. Gosh, Ravenberg.
Emery London Johnson.
Jessica Ravenberg.
Haley Dawn Panter.
Emma Anderson.
Kyra Jade Harrison.
Lillian Elizabeth Dance.
Caitlin Parker.
Samantha Ray Rowe.
Easton Russell Darley.
Silas Johnson Bell.
Elise Roberge.
Rose Tyler Crookston.
Lisa Rose Kimball.
Evelyn Catherine Larson.
Joshua Matthew Wilson.
Emma Claire Jepson.
Sydney Duffin.
Okay, start walking there. Aaron Moses Fawcett.
Anya Irene Fillmore.
Start walking. James Ashton Craner.
Pierce James Eckley.
Spencer Brian Hershey.
Ethan James Almonte.
Zachary Lawrence Barris.
D'Artagnan John Benson.
Kylie D. Balls.
Adelaide Huntsman.
Samuel Forrester Allen.
Liam Max Todd.
Bailey Brooke Taylor.
Max Vincent Cipriano.
Braden Kimball Parker.
Gavin Rourke McRae.
Elizabeth Ruth Stevens.
Avery Grace Gonzalez.
Brinley Nelson.
Madeline Eliza Jackman.
Allison Elizabeth Robinson.
Isaac Max Alleman.
Miles Beasley Thompson.
Tate Stephen Rowley.
Jessica K. Chatterley.
Bailey Grace Nordstrom.
Hannah Dallin.
Sarah Marie Resch.
Cadence Ava Lamb.
Jesus Hernandez Estrada.
Kylie Rose Olson.
Mika Kiara Schwartz.
William Farrell Polson II.
Graydon John Herzog.
Desire Najoni Cooney Moore.
Madison Marissa Turner.
Haley Logan Waldron.
Brinley Grace Gibbons.
Owen Richard Burr.
Lindsay Leanne Levitt.
Chloe Ann Nagley.
Chase Michael Orm.
David Benjamin Newswander.
Charlie Keith Eccles.
Craig Anthony Dye.
Aaron Roger Anderson.
Jasmine Michelle White.
Brooke Alana Morin.
Ryan Taylor Felix.
Jane Washburn.
Rachel Jane Migan.
Raylan Ashton.
Danica Ray Oldham.
Byron Jaden Sessions.
Bryson Todd Bailey.
Olivia Ruth Kelly.
Cambry Ann Harris.
Jacob Ammon Westwood.
Mason Dustin Ward.
Riley Weber.
Eliza Marie Andrew.
Skylar Emery Wild.
Hannah Sky Harris.
Kaisley Marlene Womack.
Alaska Lynn Vale.
Bezuit Jean Fryer.
Oakley Clark.
Bethany Marie McCurdy.
Desi Ann Christensen.
Jeremy Ray Jensen.
Nicholas David Moser.
Lily Nicole Meeks.
Callie Jane Carlson.
Hannah Elizabeth McCann.
Melissa Lynn Carter.
Hiram Royce Anderson.
John Nathan Uhariot.
Ashlyn Grace Stenquist.
Bethany May Lyman.
JC Laura Duran.
Kaylee Jean Larson.
Charity Ann Reese.
Anna Catherine Lott.
Connor Ryan Milligan.
Tyson Trevor Monk.
Brady Rick Larson.
Braxton Brad Jorgensen.
Carlos Perez.
Porter Zane Davis.
Jackson Merrill Worthen.
Gage Cash Sorensen.
Colby J. Knight.
Cooper Dale Miller.
Carly Mae Nielsen.
Madison Sophia Laura Lavelle.
Helene Bardsley.
Emily Jane Russin.
Joshua Tracy Hall.
Daxton Kurt Benson.
Jamison Spike Stores.
Paige Renee Esplin.
Carly Joe Rindlisbacher.
Haley Alice Grohl.
Trent Gregory Schwartz.
Talmadge Matthias Amato.
Shaden Pete Butters.
Bailey Katie Hubner.
Kenley Irene Cleland.
Caitlin Marie Hill.
Brett William Stimpson.
Ella Catherine Rigby.
Naomi Eliza Bergen.
Sarah Madeline Andrus.
Kendra Ann Gaultier.
Caden Hiram Krebs.
Olivia May Hamilton.
Landon Blay Myers.
Richard Luke Olson.
Gavin Maddox Graper.
Carter J. Stoddard.
Peyton Cody Wilson.
Ty Joseph Jensen.
Jaron Douglas Baker.
Charlie Clark Reeves.
Caden Cole McBride. Chihiro Funamoto.
Aubrey Bernice Jordan.
Ambrose Day Potter.
Benny Taylor Ship.
Joseph Mark Dotson.
Anne Marie Noel Shelley.
Isabel Cuevas Contreras.
Ulissa L. Legerholm.
Holly Patricia Huband.
Morgan Rebecca Huband.
Davis Kevin Eubanks.
Gabriel John Huber.
Carson Ivan Thompson.
Bennett Clark Campbell.
Mason Kurt Sadler.
Jerem Brett Jensen.
Capril Winder.
Caitlin Marie Jensen.
Alan Braxton Bird.
Thomas Stewart Wilkinson.
Jacob Tyler Pearson.
Jacob Mark Chadwick.
Jose Emmanuel Morales.
Gabriel Inestrosa.
Ethan George Ostermiller.
Jonas David Jensen.
Caden Louise Haslam.
Hadley Kate Ballard.
Charlotte Lily Felt.
Hattie Lee Mon.
Chloe Blue Chambers.
Grace Albrecht.
Jackson David Steed.
Baxter Ward Martin.
Tobin Vaughn Tarbell.
Macy Laura Elwood.
Miley Dana.
Spencer Edwin Glenn Levi.
Georgia Marie Stipes.
Hannah Lisa Taylor.
Matthew Aaron Bowman.
Tate Rowley, my apologies.
I'm honored to lead my classmates in the turning of the tassel. The tassel on the right side before graduation symbolizes our time as Green Canyon students. When we move it to the other side, we are confirming our newfound graduate status with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Changing the tassel from right to left symbolizes all of the personal and academic achievements that have brought us to this point. Before this, there was one thing that I felt and some of admin also felt was necessary. If you weren't here 3 years ago, you might not get this, but for everyone that was, here we go. Hey everyone, today's Thursday. And you know what that means? It's the day before Friday. The day we graduate, and the perfect time for one last positive in the present. I want you to think of all the people who have helped you get to this point, the people who have pushed you, supported you, helped you to be a good student and a good person. Take a second to be grateful for them and remember their support and their example. There's a quote from Abraham Lincoln that says, "Whatever you are, be a good one." Think of all the people in your life who have been so good to you. I encourage you to follow their example. Starting now and for the rest of your life, whatever you are, whether that's a student, an employee, a coworker, a neighbor, sibling, parent, friend, be good to yourself, be good to others, always do your best, smile, and whatever you are, be a good one. It's a great day to be a part of the patch. Green Canyon graduating class of 2025, please stand. Please join with me in turning your tassel from right to left. Congratulations. Please stay standing for the school song.
Okay, graduates, you can exit through the back steps. Parents and families, you can meet your students up top and outside. Thank you. Congratulations.
Nice job, Jim. Well done.
Thank you. I might need some hair certified.